Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we are here to finally do the results for our first quarter budget, and I'm really excited to do this video because this is my first year doing a quarterly budget. Last year I tried to do the yearly budget, but I went out of budget by like the second month of the year. There's no way I was going to catch up, but now we are here to do our first quarter. And if you guys are new to my channel, I set up these budget spreads with you guys at I might say January. I don't know if it was January. It could have been December. I honestly don't remember, but I'll have the playlist linked if I remember to link it. But the planner that I have here is the Erin Condren monthly planner in the 7x9 size. This is in the color blends design. And our first quarter essentially is the budget that we gave ourselves to stick to for January, February, and March. And we'll talk about this a little more later, but it's kind of like how for April, May, and June, we did this spread together for second quarter budget. And this is what we have to stick to for April, May, and June. Now, the reason why I do it like this is because I always have a set amount of our budget every single month. Just to tell you guys a little bit about our background, it is me, my husband, our infants, and we have 2 pups. Both of us, per paycheck, we transfer over a designated amount into our joint savings account just to pay all of our bills or all of our expenses in general. We both keep a little bit for ourselves. Like for example, for April, for our variable income, we have it set to every single paycheck we transfer over $1,300, and this is what it's set to like all of the time. And then for me, for example, my paychecks are usually like 15,000, like I don't know, $30 or something. I usually keep whatever is after the 15,000 mark, so that 30 something I usually keep for myself. And then the difference between the $1,300 and the $1,500 is $200. That $200 per paycheck, I automatically go and transfer, and I throw it straight into our savings account, which is our external savings, which is with Ally. But all 4 paychecks added up equals to $5,200, and that is always our budget for like the month or the following month. I have tons of budget videos, so if I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, I do apologize. Let's go ahead and just get into this budget results. So let's start with this side. We had $15,600 be our budget for January, February, March, which is good because $5,200, which is our budget every month, times 3 equals $15,600, and this is still the same. So that is 15,600. The only times that this will really change is if something happens with our paychecks. Like let's say we get like a crazy promotion and then we want to change it midway, which I highly doubt because like I'd probably wait until the next quarter to reevaluate all of our expenses. But let's say like knock on wood, if one of us were to lose our job or something, then this would of course have to change. But that's kind of why I have it quarterly, so I can always adjust it the next quarter and I don't have to feel so bad about myself if we do horrible. But variable is also 0, so that means the actual is good, and then there is no variance. Now for our first section of categories. So for this first section, eating out, groceries, gas, allowance, and pups, this is our day-to-day expenses, what we use throughout the month just to be able to eat and pay for gas and live. This is all what I always say if we were to use cash. These would be my cash envelopes. Let's go ahead and calculate all of these for the beginning of the year. So let's go to January. So what is the easiest way to do this? Should I write this down? To make it easy for myself, I'm gonna go ahead and just write down all of these amounts somewhere else. For January, we spent $126 for eating out, $392 for eating out for groceries, $142 for gas, $57 for allowance, and $19 for the pups and baby. The budget is set the same for the first 3 months since that's what we calculated for, so I don't really need to worry about that. And then for February, $318 eating out, $294 groceries, gas $101, allowance is $60, and then again pups and baby was $20. And then for March, we had $258 spent, then 25, which is so odd, 69 for gas, 22 for allowance, and then 82 for pups and bean. And then you guys will probably know that like for March it was because we had our vacation, which is why it was so little spent. That was for the first 3 months. Now let's calculate these up. Eating out for all 3 of the first months, or for first quarter, 318 plus 258. In total, we spent $702. I'm hoping that we'll have a really good first quarter. I think the bills, I think one of them was like negative by a lot, but it should be fine for the rest of them. For groceries, first month, $392 plus $294 plus 25. That is $711. Then we had gas. Gas was $142 spent plus $101 plus 69 equals, oh, it looks like this one was a little over. Was it really? I guess I didn't really pay attention. Did we spend that much for gas? Or did I write it wrong? Oh no, wait, we did spend that much. Oh, okay. Next is for allowance. Allowance, we spent $57 plus 60 plus 22. That is $139. And then last but not least, we had pups and baby. Pups and baby, 19 plus 20 plus 82. And this was $121. Now to add them all together, we have 702 plus 711 plus 312 plus 139 plus 121 equals $1,985. And now let's talk about all the variances. For the variances is essentially the differences between our budgeted amount minus our spent amount. So for our eating out, we had 900 as our budgeted amount. That minus 702 that we spent equals our leftover amount of $189, which is so good. I'm very proud of ourselves because I feel like we always use every dollar of our eating out category. Then we had groceries, which was $1,200. That minus 711 equals a leftover of $489. I know that we did do like a rollover too, but like we're not going to account that for because we rolled it over to a separate month. And if you guys have watched those weekly check-ins for the month of April, I'm not going to do any rollover ever again because I feel like it's just confusing. So I'm not going to do any rollover. I just wanted to try it, especially because like we barely spent any money for the month of March for groceries. I didn't want to go negative in April. But now that I'm thinking about it, like that's kind of the challenge. If it's not spent, then it's more to save. 300, of course, we are negative for this one. We went over for gas by $12. And then for allowance, we had a budget of 300. That minus 139 equals a leftover 161. And if you guys are curious about these numbers, again, 900 divided by 3 means that every month for the first quarter, eating out had a budget of $300. So $300. For groceries, 1,200 divided by 3 for January, February, March is $400. These 300 each divided by 3, so on and so forth. That's where all these numbers are coming from. They're a multiplication of 3 because we're calculating for January, February, and March. This is the budget that we set ourselves for. And I know I talked about this when I set up. Okay, I don't really remember which video I set up, but I do know that I talked about, like, I know that this can be repetitive, but it's just for me, I really like seeing numbers. I like seeing progress. I like seeing things in like pictured differently. So this is like another reason why I know bills, for example, are listed in every single month, but I like having an overview of all of our bills as well. It's just a really nice way for me to see it. It's like our sinking funds too, but this is just what works for our budget. This is what I'm testing. This is what I've been enjoying. So I just wanted to mention that this is definitely not necessary at all, but for us, I just truly enjoy having different spreads to look at things differently. But last but not least, we have our pups in baby category. This was a budget of $300 minus $121 equals $179. So that is what this looks like. Now let's go ahead and add this all up. So 189 plus the 489 plus 161 plus 179 minus $12 equals $1,015. And that is fantastic. Like, I don't know what that means really. Like, should we adjust numbers? Should we like decrease them and try to tighten our budget even further? I don't know, but this is really nice to know. Maybe we might even challenge ourselves for quarter 3, because we already set up our budget for quarter 2, but maybe for quarter 3, like maybe we're going to try to tighten our budget even further, because I know quarter 3 student loan payments are going to continue. So I think it'll be helpful, and it's really nice to know that we did really well for the first 3 months. For down here, let's go ahead and do all of our bills. So these are our bills. Our fixed bills are our fixed bills, so these are not going to change. So this stays the same. It's kind of like up here for our sinking funds and allies. This is fixed, so like there is no variance, because these are the exact amounts that got transferred wherever they got transferred. But yeah, so the last category is really this variance for our bills. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did for up here, and I'm just going to write them all down for all the previous months. Let's see. So for January, negatives. Okay. Hopefully we end up good, which we should, because I don't remember any month being under or being over for bills, so it should be good overall, though we have some categories that were over. So it looks like for gas for this month, for January, it was a $136.59. Then $41.79 for electric, $174.55 for mobile, $89.99 for internet. This is a consistent amount of being negative by $9.99, but luckily has been changed. So our second quarter, our internet was corrected. Next we have our utilities gas. This was $115.30, $44.96. $174.77, $89.99 again. And then for March, utilities gas again, $116.50. I don't remember gas ever always being this well, I feel like I say this all the time. We always review these numbers from like our previous year bills, and I don't know, let me just stop thinking about it. Okay, so going back, let's do the calculations in here. For gas in total, so for the first quarter we had $136.59 for gas plus $115.30 plus $116.57. That equals $368.46. I feel like the bills section is always quite depressing for me, because like these are all just bills. Like all of this money just goes to bills. And it's like, geez, okay. 128.07. Then that was electric. Mobile, we had 174.55 plus 174.77 plus 174.77. I always wonder why this like changes ever so slightly. It's like sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's not. So I just leave it in my variable for a mobile bill. Then for internet, I put internet over here originally because I thought that it was going to change, because it changed on us randomly, but it ended up staying at $89.99 times 3, because it's the same for every single month. So this was $269.97. And now I'm realizing I forgot the holder account. The holder account is what I calculate just so we have an even number. I'm a weirdo like that, but there's nothing for January, nothing for February. For March, was there something? For March, it was $1.06, so that was what it was total, and that $1.06 was because our HBO became more expensive, and there was nowhere else I could put it because HBO is fixed, so I couldn't adjust that number without it screwing up the whole budget, so I put it over here. But that is what this looks like. Now we're going to add up all of our variable bills. We had 368.46 plus 128.07. Do you guys like seeing like the calculator in the calculations? Like, I don't know if you guys like seeing it, because I can definitely cut this part out and just not even have it in here and just show you guys the number afterwards. But plus 2, 5, blah, 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 0. And it's such a tongue twister for me sometimes to say the numbers too. But 97 plus $1.06. That equals total of $1,291.65. But yes, let me know if it's helpful to show the calculator in like the calculations with it, or do you guys want me to just like when I do add up stuff, just like to skip it and just tell you guys like the final number results? I would love to know. But anyway, okay, so for the variances for these is the same thing. So 300 was our budget. Oh wait, I don't even have to really calculate this list. This was definitely over by $68.46 for gas. I'm hoping that next quarter our gas is better than this, because that is a lot to be over, because it was consistently, I think every month that it was over. But electric, we had 210, that minus 128.07. The difference is $81.93, so $81.93. Then we have $540, that minus 524.09. That equals the difference of $15.91. Then we have 240 minus, I guess this one I don't really have to calculate either, but this is definitely negative again by $29.97, which makes sense because it was $9.99 that was over for 3 months in a row. So that times 3 is $29.97. Okay, and then last but not least, we had $559.70, which is like our holder to make it equal an even number for every month to be $31.50. I just have that embedded in my brain that we always need $31.50 every month to pay for all of our bills, and then if we have extra good, we can eat. But anyway, okay, so $59.70, that minus the $1.06 equals $58.64. I remember at one point when we first started budgeting, and we were in an apartment, our first number that we always made sure to have to pay for all the bills was like $1,500, and then it went to like $2,300, and now we're at $3,150. And I'm pretty sure it's not gonna stop increasing. I'm sure as life goes on, we pop out more kids, the bills are just gonna go up every month. But okay, all right, so that is what this is looking like. Now let's add up this total to see what the difference is. I'm thinking we're still in the positives. So we have $81.93 plus $15.91, plus $558.64. That minus the 68. My baby in the background crying is really distracting me. Her daddy is in the room with her, so she should be okay. She's just really been having such a rough day. But what am I saying? The result is that there is a variance of $58.05, which is not bad. I kind of wish it was more, but that just means like we can't really change our numbers, because I really do like having a cushion of something. Essentially $58 divided by 3 means like we still have like $19 left over a month if like something really changes drastically, because like I really don't ever want to not have enough money for our bills. It looks like they're just gonna stay like this or around the same amounts. But yeah, so that is what this looks like. I am really happy with this actually. So this is really not bad at all. Now let's go ahead and do our sinking funds. I just wanted to, for the sinking funds, you guys might know when I have been calculating this, a lot of times I forget to do this in the results, and I end up having to do it in the next sinking funds video. This is what we spent every single month. I think like maybe after another quarter or so, I want to see which accounts maybe I should just merge or get rid of, just to have like less accounts to have to finance, if that makes sense, and to like add to and kind of like keep up with. because we used to use dates category all of the time. We used to always have to add money to this, but ever since we had our baby, we have not been using our date account at all. So maybe like I can mush this with gifts and trading out. I don't know. And then same with our home category. We haven't. That's a lie, because we're gonna have to order like air filters and stuff soon. So we're gonna have to use this soon. Easy Pass is fine because every now and then we go to Philadelphia, it takes out. I think I might get rid of Pups Miscellaneous because like every now and then we have like crazy. I might change Pups Miscellaneous to an actual just miscellaneous category, or maybe mix Pups Miscellaneous with Babies category and have them one category. Let's see how this is throughout April, May, and June, because maybe for the next quarter we might change our sinking funds slightly if we still don't use the Pups Miscellaneous category. But let's do our calculations. So for car insurance actually comes out in April, so we'll see that change here, but we still did not use anything for here. Sewer and water, sewer and water is not going to have to go anywhere because it does come out. It's a bill that we have to pay every 3 months for sewer and every 3 months for water, but I just have them mixed in one category because it's just easier. But that was $269 that was spent from that category. Nothing for Christmas. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do dashes. I don't know why sometimes I like kind of like switch back and forth. Next we have a babies category, 119 plus 163. Babies category is used a lot, which is like normal. Car maintenance is $14, and I know we use that again this month, so car maintenance is definitely staying. Gifts and trading we use very aggressively. Okay, 61 plus 164 plus 199 equals $424 in the first quarter. That's actually a lot of money. Dates, nothing for dates, nothing for home, nothing for clothes. You would think that we would have been used clothes by now. This clothes category is just accumulating, and I just like, I don't know why we don't use it like that. But $190 for Pups food, $150 for Costco, nothing. Oh, $150 for Costco. I wrote it in the wrong section, so Pups Miscellaneous is 0. Then our office was $175, beauty was $81, and then on budget we spent $505. Then medical we spent $681. I might start beefing up medical a little bit more, but let's add these all up together to see what we spent in total from all of our sinking funds. So $269 plus $282 plus 14 plus 422 plus 45 plus 190 plus 150 plus 175 plus 81 plus 505 plus 681 equals oh my gosh, that's actually a lot more than I thought it would be. That's $2,816 that we spent in total for the first quarter just from our sinking funds alone. So that's actually a lot. If you really think about it, like outside of bills, in total for the first 3 months, we spent $2,816 plus $1,015 equals first 3 months just on like miscellaneous living things has been $3,831. Let me divide this by 3. So every month we've been spending roughly $1,277. So if we round up, we spend basically a whole paycheck per month. So I guess it could be worse, but that's not bad. But yeah, so that is actually the wrap up for this portion. And I realized I never talked about sinking funds. So for sinking funds, I have this set up for January, February, March as well. As you guys can see, there's a January, February, March sticker because if you didn't want to do it quarterly, the sticker sheet allows you to customize to do it like January/February, then March/April. So like basically 6 months at a time. Or you can just chuck it and just write like start, plus, minus, and then like the ending, which is the totals, to just do it as a yearly overview. For the yearly overview, I don't really quite do it that way because I tried last year, but like every month I add a different amount to our sinking funds, so it wasn't really effective for me to have like a set amount budgeted in here, because I always change it every month how much I add to each category. I add more to whichever category that needs it. So this is just out of for me to kind of see and visualize which one we use the most, which one kind of like needs more funds, whatever adjustment that needs to have. But that is what this overview is for me for sinking funds. But that was the first quarter. Now let's go ahead and, well, there's really nothing to talk about for bills, so we'll just leave the bills. But we do have to talk about our budget results. So for our budget results, let's talk about how much we were able to save in total. These amounts is what we transferred to our savings account at Ally to save. So in total, 231.88 and then 370.19. So let's add those all up together. We had 270.89 plus 231.88 plus 370.19. That total that we were able to, that's actually a really good amount. That in total is $873.05, which I'm really happy about. Again, you guys might hear the baby crying in the background. I promise you guys I'm not leaving her to cry by herself. Her father is in there with her. She's just been, I don't know if she's been going through sleep regression or she's not feeling well, but she's definitely going through something. But this was our first quarter, so I'm hoping that it continues to go more and more every quarter, but this looks fantastic for our results. Now, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do our color trackers. I actually didn't really think about how I'm going to do this, because the last time we colored in stuff was when we got our taxes. Our taxes was around $7,000, so there's still $9 of it that we didn't color in, because I don't have any little hexagon that equals $9. So that's kind of why I couldn't color anything in for $9. Like the smallest one is $5, and that's already colored in. But I wanted to kind of clear out our Saveopoly so we can transfer over funds. So let's actually, we're in April currently, so let's actually look at that real quick. In Saveopoly, we currently have $1,143.04 saved. I think I'm going to keep this going for another month to see how much we can save, because this was just in first quarter. That's actually really good. I guess I never really looked at this number until like now to really absorb it in, that in 3 months we were able to save that much. That's wild. But anyway, going to our emergency funds, we have $8,550.12. Let's like color in whatever additional. So let's round it to 8,500. So let's do, we're gonna change this number so we can keep a running list, because like this is what makes sense to me. You guys definitely can do it differently from how I'm doing it, but let's do emergencies. We're leaving Saveopoly alone, so we're only doing emergencies. So emergencies, we're doing a total of $8,500 instead. So of course, once we save emergency funds to like 9,000, we'll change out the sticky note again. So far, we still have $9 left of the $7,000 that we couldn't color in. So of course, 7,000 minus 9 equals $6,991. That minus 850, that minus 8,500 equals $1,509 left that we can fill in and color in. So 1,509. What should we color in first? And just to talk to you guys about this background portion, these color trackers is each one is to indicate our emergency fund, because we goaled ourselves to be able to save $12,539.16 for our 3-month emergency fund for this year. So each one is a set amount. Like eating out is 900. So where's my eating out? Eating out, the goal is to save 900 for 3 months of emergencies. So each hexagon equals $25. So that's kind of where this comes from. So Netflix and Spotify for 3 months emergencies, that's already completed. Same with HBO. Our mortgage, this is like beautiful that our mortgage is completed, because that's definitely like the big kahuna over here. But we still have a bunch more to color in. Let's do student loans. Has not started yet, so I think I'm going to leave this alone, because like I don't know, I just don't want to color this in. I kind of want to focus on, let's do electric. So electric will be one of them. So out of this amount, minus 330 equals $1,179 left over to color in. So let's just color this in first, and then we'll figure out which next one we should color in. Let me look at the colorways that we've used so far. I really love this like bright one, so I think I'm going to use pink again. Let's do pink, teal, and this highlight yellow. Actually, let's just do... let's just use these two colors. Actually, let's just do 2 colors alone. Maybe the next one we'll do these 3 colors look really nice. So the next one we color in, we're going to use these 3. But we're doing... so our utilities, electric will be fully colored in, which will be really nice. I actually really like doing these little visual things. Like, you guys might know, in general, I'm just extremely visual. So it's really hard for me to kind of stay motivated if I don't see results. In a sense, it's actually a huge problem. I'm hoping that our kids are not like that, because I don't think it's like the healthiest thing in the world. Should I add another color to this? Well, I guess this will be very heavily pink, which is fine. I really like this blue color too. This is like a teal color. I'm not sure if you guys like watching me color this in, because like it's not like I really have anything to talk about either. Maybe the next time I do this, maybe I'll do a... I don't know. I don't have any interesting stories either, so what am I saying? Maybe I'll just fast forward this. I'm gonna fast forward this. Now that is done, let's do the next one. So the next one that we should do gas. Gas and mobile. I want to do gas and mobile. And maybe we'll do another bill. We don't need this anymore, so I'm going to put this to the side. This one's pups, but we're not going to fill that in yet. So we will do gas in mobile. So gas is $450. That's our 3 months emergency funds. So this is minus $450. And then minus $540 for mobile. Equals a remaining of $189. So we'll figure out what to do with that last. Now let's fill these in. Let's do the first colorway for gas. We'll do these 3. I don't really know what this will look like, and I'm not going to really do this in like an organized pattern way. So let's just see how this goes. This yellow is really pretty. I really like this yellow. I feel like I usually like always have something to like tell you guys, but for whatever reason, not right now. I do have to say though, if you guys watched my week 1 April check-in, was it week 1? I'm pretty sure it was week 1. We thought that we might had a possibility of being pregnant. So I must say that happening really did make us want to prep ourselves and prepare ourselves for our finances in case we have another baby. And especially because like there's been a lot of like stress at work right now for me, for my 9 to 5 job or 8 to 5 job. And it's been kind of like worrying me quite a bit. But my husband is looking for a job currently because like his job is is something else, really, like honestly. Oh my god. So he's been looking for a job, and the market's been really hard to find another job. So like I don't want both of us to get a job, because if we both get a new job, like I'm not really there's that 3 months thing where you have to stay, and like because they can still fire you. Like I just don't want to ever be in a situation where we don't have job security, and I think that's why like I'm stressing a little bit right now. But that's like a different story. So I think that's why we're trying to do really well with our savings and our budget in general right now. But this is what this looks like, and I feel like I should have did this in like some type of pattern, because this looks really weird to me. But now that that's done, let's do our mobile, since that's the other one that we want to do. For mobile, I just keep gravitating towards these pastel colors. So let's do these three. This is very Eastery. So I feel like I might have done this combination before, but you know what? I find it very relaxing though. This is extremely relaxing though to do this coloring. It's kind of making me sleepy, I'm not gonna lie. I've been having really poor sleep because our baby hasn't been sleeping, which means I don't get to sleep. So there's that. But I've also been feeling very motivated, so I think that's also really nice. You know what I realized I could probably talk about? I could talk about our goals, because I feel like I don't really talk about like our financial goals. Besides, of course, you guys might know that like this is the year that we want to save as much as we can. But financial goals, as in like what we're aiming for, is we do want to try to get a car within the next couple of years, because if we have another baby, our car right now is like, I don't know how the heck I'm going to fit in between 2 car seats. So there is that first one, especially if we have to take a family trip. Where are our pups gonna go? I have no idea. So there is that first goal, and the second goal is we're hoping to try to purchase a new home and move by the year of 2023. What am I saying? It is the year 2023. By 2026 to 2027. And of course, like I don't know how realistic any of this is, because it's really hard for me to gauge how much we have to save and stuff, only because I don't have how much money our student loans are going to be. Our student loans is a very big gray area right now, so it's hard for me to gauge because I don't even know how much our monthly payments are going to be. But we have $189 left over. We're just going to fill in the pups one, since this is only $150. So $189 minus $150 equals $39 left over, and we'll talk about that next. So let's fill in the one for our pups. For pups, let's do yellow, because sometimes their pee is very yellow. And then we'll do brown. Let's not do this. Should we do this? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this differently. I feel like I always mix the colors, but let's just go in like down the line. So we'll do kind of like, I was going to go do side to side, but let's actually do diagonal. But what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yes, so it's really hard for me to gauge and calculate how much we're able to save for, how likely that number is for us to be able to move by that year. Until I'm able to get all of the numbers, it's hard for me to kind of just like have like an idea or a picture of how much we'll need. Because since this is our first home, I kind of like understand at least the process of it and how much we'll need for like the down payment and stuff, and to avoid PMI, which is funny because the year 2026 is when we can get PMI off of our thing. Only reason why is because we were not able to put like the full 20% down payment, but I want to at least be able to put 10% down for our next home. But we'll of course definitely talk about those numbers when I have more of like a picture to tell you guys about it. And of course, student loans is a big one. Like I really am curious as to the whole student loan situation. I honestly wish I never went to college as biology major. I wish I just stayed as undecided, because I ended up changing into a like a cybersecurity and networking degree, and so that means like all of my credits and stuff that I earned up until junior year went into electives, and like I maxed out every single semester as well to get all of like the labs and all of like my main courses completed. So like it was truly expensive, and it's such an expensive mistake that I wish I never did. So when our kids go to college, I'm definitely gonna like advise them just to stay undecided, just to try a little bit of everything and just figure out what they really want first, because it's just awful. Like, I don't even want to talk about it right now. But anyway, okay, so $39 is what we have remaining. So it looks like we still have allowance. That's $20 for each hexagon. This is $16 each. Let's do one of these. Let's do internet. Internet is $16 each. Or we can just like not color like 1 or 2 in. We can just leave the 39 for next time. Let's do that. Let's do that, because I like being able to color everything all at once. So let's do leftover is $39 not colored. So next time we do this again, we'll be able to calculate the next set. But this is what it's looking like so far. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories that we still need to save for our 6 months, for our 3 months of emergency funds. We're getting somewhere. This is starting to look so nice. I'm so happy. Okay, now that actually concludes our first quarter check-in. I'm hoping that I'm not missing anything, which I don't think I am, because these are all the categories. Went through this, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Don't need to talk about bills. We are currently not talking about our debt overviews, though I will probably have a conciseness of this as a debt confessions video. Once student loans continue, we'll probably fill this all out together. And savings tracker, we have our budget results, which we did together, and then of course our color trackers. So yeah, that is actually going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. Thank you guys so much as always for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.